Good morning. It is October the 28th, and we are looking at the 21st chapter of Proverbs, verse 29. It says, "A wicked man puts up a bold front, but an upright man gives thoughts to his ways." And so a wicked man fakes that what he's doing is upright, that it's righteous. He won't admit that he's wrong. Certainly in our political season, we can look to our politicians and we can see this. Am I saying our politicians are wicked men? Well, make the decision according to what you see them do. But the other side, but an upright man gives thoughts to his ways when it is revealed to him that he has done ill or has done something which goes against the morality God has presented. He looks to it and changes his behavior. He considers the effects that being immoral have upon those around him and upon life. So he gives thoughts to his ways. In other words, he has the ability to be introspective, to consider his life, and to change his behaviors. Verse 30, "There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord." I think this is a simple truth and one we should rely upon. We should have confidence in God succeeding, and that if he presents a way to live, follow that way to live. Because all the designs and plans of the earth, all the efforts of the devil, they ultimately fail. Ultimately, God wins. And he wins eternally, and he wins in the moment to reach that eternity. So go to God's plans and follow them. Don't be a Jonah. 31. "The horse is made ready for the day of the battle, but victory rests with the Lord." Okay, so you as a person do prep for what's coming ahead. And it's a good thing to do. We're not supposed to worry about tomorrow. We are supposed to, we have enough problems today, but we are supposed to make preparation for tomorrow. We get our children ready for their tests. My daughter is to study before she goes in and takes her physics exam. We get our houses ready for hurricanes and storms. We prep in a reasonable fashion when we know that there's going to be a large snowfall and we might be inside for a couple of days. These are all ways that you get ready. But we know we don't have to fear. We don't have to live in anxiety that the future will be beyond God's control. God says all things work together for good to those who love the Lord. He won the victory on the cross. He gave us new life in his resurrection. So victory ultimately is in God's hands, and he will give us what's necessary to prep, what's necessary and good for us to have to be ready for tomorrow. Spiritually, certainly it is his word and his sacraments. It is the coming together of his community. Physically, it is the acts of our vocation where we receive our daily goods, and the acts which give us neighbors who love us and cherish us, and family who loves and cherishes us. So ultimately, God is going to make certain that our preparations, that we have the tools to prepare, and that our preparations will succeed to achieve what he designs. 22, the chapter, verse 1. "A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold." So if you have a choice between reputation and wealth, reputation. Okay. I think this is one that we should look at as a consideration in making decisions on what route to go. So if you have an opportunity for employment, but employment is not in a good way, women going to Playboy, men becoming sleazy lawyers, or women becoming sleazy lawyers, or I guess men going to Playgirl. I don't know if there is one. Anyway, these appear to people to be desirable things, but they're not. They give you the false and bad reputation, which are deserved because you've sought wealth over the good things, the things which are pleasing to God. Verse 2, Rich and poor have this in common: the Lord is the maker of them all. When some say that God has blessed, but he hasn't blessed others, because you can see externally, this person has wealth and prestige and position. This is the prosperity gospel. And this is a sign of God's blessing. No. Kings and ordinary men have all been created by God. They are all subject to God's commands. He's the ultimate judge. And they are all equally valuable in God's sight. They are his children who have either been saved or who are still lost. And so when we look at other people, we look at them as that, God's children, infinitely valuable. But we don't place them above or below. There's authority sometimes which is given, which puts them above or below, or there's knowledge and there's actions which might put you into a category where you're treated differently. But as a person, you are treated the same. And we as Christians treat you the same. We treat you as what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, by the color of your character, not the color of your skin. And we treat those with the hoary head as respected because of the wisdom and the life they have lived, but they are equally valued with the middle-aged moneymaker and the child who's providing very little financially to society. Okay? So all people have been created by God. Verse 3. A prudent man sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Simple in this case means someone who hasn't been informed by the wisdom of God. If you are prudent, again, let's do this in the context that God says, don't worry about tomorrow, today has enough problems. But even in that context, you are to be prudent. You are to listen to the wisdom of God, which gives you his design, the way things execute, the way things happen. And you're supposed to see that events in life tend to follow in a certain pattern. Historically, we're told if you don't learn history, you're doomed to repeat it. The prudent man learns history. He learns from God what are good methods and modes of behavior, and he follows them. And that allows him to be ready for danger and to take refuge from danger. But the simple person who just goes, and doesn't study history, doesn't look to patterns of behavior, etc., they're going to walk right into the problem. I was talking to someone from Florida who said, the reason these hurricanes are causing so much damage is the new people moved down here and they're simple. They didn't say simple, but they're simple. They don't know that they need to trim their trees. But the prudent Floridian, who knows the behavior of winds and hurricanes, trims their trees, and much less damage is done. All right, we're going to continue in our next video.